Redhead Boo here, yet again, with another video. And this video is going to be a story time because I know how much you all love my story times, and it's going to be of all of my experiences meeting the Vamps. And I've seen videos done like this before, but I thought, why not try it, because I've been lucky enough to meet the Vamps and it's crazy. But before I start, I am not bragging in any way. I just thought I would tell you all about my amazing experiences because of them, and never give up, guys, because I never thought I would meet the Vamps, and it did happen to me. So yeah, let's get started. So the first time I ever met the Vamps was at the Manchester book signing on Tuesday the 25th of October 2016. And I remember hearing that they were going to be doing book signings, so I was like, right, if they come anywhere near me, I'm going and I'm going to meet them. And I remember they released all of the dates, and I could see that Manchester was during October half term, and Manchester isn't too far away from me. Like, it's the furthest away that I'd be able to go to. So I was like, right, I'm gonna go. So I booked a ticket, because you had to book, and it was a strange signing because it wasn't actually in a shop or like a WH Smith, because it was arranged through them. It was at a cricket stadium. What? Who does a signing at a cricket stadium? The Vamps do. That's who. And anyway, we got there at 11:45, I think it was, and the signing was supposed to start at 12. So I was like, yep, but that's fine. We queued up, and the queue was huge. And I remember we drove around, because you had to drive around to the car park and then get in the queue. And we drove around and you could just see the queue of people waiting to meet the Vamps. And I was like, oh my god, that is so many people just for them. And then there'd obviously been people already inside. So that was crazy just to think about that much people just to see the Vamps. Like, incredible. And yeah, like everyone was screaming, everyone was so excited. I just remember waking up on the morning feeling sick, because I'd never met the Vamps before, so I didn't know like what to expect. So I was very nervous, and someone had also been talking about the Vamps to me, to Connor, saying that he was my favourite member and the fact that I'd be meeting him. And she said, oh yeah, this girl Lucy, she loves you so much and she can't wait to meet you in Manchester. And then apparently he said, oh, tell her I love her and I can't wait to meet her too. So when I saw that, I was like, I'm not ready to meet him. And I remember we'd got to the door where you handed them the ticket and they would swap that for the wristband, and then you went in. But they said no wristband, no entry. And I remember the ticket was for me. Like, my mum was with me because she didn't want to wait in the car in case I fainted or whatever. But I was like, oh my god, what if they don't let her in? What if they don't let me in because we're together? I was like, oh no, what do we do? And they let us in, thank god. And the guy thought he would play a prank and say, oh yeah, they've gone, you can't meet them. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, I'm joking. And I was like, I nearly hit him. I was so like, are you kidding? Like, don't do that to me because I'm so excited. But it was all fine, which was incredible. And yeah, that was weird. But then I went up some stairs, which were like 5 different flights of stairs. So it was so like tiring, and I was sweating, so I was like, great, so I'm going to meet the Vamps and I'm going to be sweaty. But yeah, we got to the top of the stairs and I showed my wristband to this woman and she gave me the book. And I remember getting the book, and while I was in the queue, because I was quite far back, I was reading the book, looking through all of the baby photos of them, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And they also had Meet the Vamps album playing in the background, which I thought was nice, because I quite like having music in signings and like meet and greets. So that happened, and I remember, I think I'd got near the front, and I saw that one member of the Vamps, I can't remember who, was just filming and taking photos, but they didn't post it, so I was a bit annoyed at that. But I got to like this black wall where I knew they would be behind, so I was like, oh my god, this is mental. And you got there and you could see the table and it was crazy. But I got to the front and I looked around and they were all just sat there, and I was like, oh my god, I've only ever seen them on stage or on TV at this time. I've never seen them like right in front of me, like in touching distance. That's been crazy. But I got to them and the order was James, Connor, Tristan and Brad, and I walked up to them all and I was so scared, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my god, how am I going to be able to speak to them? But like, they're just such lovely lads. And I think the fact that James was first, that definitely calmed me down, because I was able to talk to him, because a few days before that I had interviewed him on talk radio and asked him a question, and that sort of calmed me down too, which was crazy. But and there is a video about that on my channel if you just search for it. And yeah, this is pretty mad. But I remembered that they'd won the Best British Group award at the Teen Awards a few days before that as well. So I was like, congrats on winning, because I'm so proud. And he was like, oh, thank you, thanks for the support. And then I moved on to Connor. And obviously, you guys all know how much I love Connor Ball. So I was like, oh my god, I am right in front of my absolute favourite member. So I was like, oh my god. But I spoke to him and he was lovely. He is such a lovely person. And it was just incredible. And he was so lovely and calm and chatty. And loads of people before had told me he was really awkward. I was like, no, he's not. He wasn't with me, he was fine with me. And we were just chatting and laughing and just, yeah, it was crazy. But I got to Tristan and he was wearing sunglasses, and I was like, why are you wearing sunglasses inside, you weirdo? But yeah, we were just chatting, and he's such a nice person, this Tristan. And he's so like, he's not appreciated enough, I don't think. And then I walked up to Brad, and obviously everybody, they deny it, but everyone loves Brad. And I was like, oh my god, I am right in front of Brad Simpson. What on earth am I meant to do? What am I meant to say? So I sort of just stood there and stared at him for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why am I not speaking to him? He is a normal human being, just chat to him, girl. But I just stared, and he probably asked me about 10 times, how are you? And I just stood there like, ah. But I didn't know what to do or say. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? But eventually I was like, oh, sorry, I'm fine. And he was just laughing at me, but he's so cute and lovely. And then when I was walking off, he had to kill me even more, because before I walked off, I said, I love you. And as I was walking off, I just heard, I love you too. When he said that, I was just dead. I just walked out the room, went down the stairs, managed to keep it together until I got in the car and started crying and shaking, because I was the happiest person in the world. Like, it was rushed, but it wasn't like so rushed. But oh my god, that was one of the best days of my life because I finally got to meet the Vamps. The second time meeting the Vamps was arranged because my friend who lives near Sheffield, she had got a spare wristband for the Sheffield all-night signing, and I was like, yeah, I'm prepared for this, I'm ready. So we got to HMV, and well, no, we got into Sheffield, found a car park. When my mum was like, I'm not gonna come in with you, you go queue up, meet them, and then meet me after. So I was like, that's fine, I've met them before, I'll be fine. And she went off to Starbucks, I went to HMV. The queue was outside and it was freezing cold. All I had was a leather jacket and jeans and Doc Martens, I think. Anyway, I go and I get there and they're searching everyone's bags and they're letting people up. And before you went up, you were split up into these like little groups. And my group, I was either the last person of the group in front of me or the first person. I think I was the first. Yeah, I was the first person in my group of people to go up. So the guy was like, yeah, go up, go up. So I start going up the escalator and I'm like, oh my god, they're right at the top of this escalator, what the hell. So I go up the escalator, get to the top and look and see Brad, Connor and James. And I was like, where's Tristan? At this point I hadn't thought to check my phone to see the tweet that Tristan had put out to all Vamps fans. So I get on my phone, get on Twitter, see that Tristan's tweeted saying, sorry Sheffield, family emergency, won't be able to make it to the signing today. And then I remembered that he was at his granddad's funeral and I just felt so bad because I was a bit annoyed. And I do feel bad now because, yeah. But this signing was so bad. Like the Vamps boys were lovely, as always. Like they're so nice. Because like when they have security who are really mean, they're always apologising to fans. And they apologised to me so many times that day. And I'd got to the front of the queue. And the guy was like, put your CD on the table, move along, get to the front. I was like, what? So I got to James and I was like, oh James, can we do a selfie please? He was like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. And I go to do the selfie and I sort of like touch the table and then the security behind me going, don't lean on the table. I was like, I touched it with my finger. I didn't even go anywhere near it, but instead of doing the selfie like I planned, I just took a normal photo of him and oh my god, it's the best photo, so funny. And he's, no you can't see it, there, he's pouting in the photo and it was just so funny. And the order, I forgot to say the order. The order was James, Connor and then Brad at the end again. So I get to Connor and at this time the security are getting really, really pissy. So I was like, oh great, this is going to be amazing. So I get to Connor and I'm chatting to him like a normal person would do. And I was like, oh hi, and he's like, hi, how are you? I was like, I'm good, thank you. And I started explaining that me and my internet friend were basically going to meet, go to the Vamps concert together, meet the Vamps together. And he was like, oh that's really cute, yeah, we can't wait to meet you both again. And I was like, I know. And at this point the girl in front of me had gone, so Brad was all on his own, bless him, and I felt really bad because I was just chatting away to Connor and then Brad was there and I was like, I did feel awful for Brad, bless him, but he was sort of joining in with the conversation anyway, so it's not like I was ignoring him. Anyway, the security were being really arsy and were like, "You move along, we've not got all night." And I was like, why are you being like this? And then I remember I felt something really hard on my shoulder, and it was the security just grabbing me and like pushing me towards Brad, and I was like, "Are you joking?" Like, obviously I didn't say this because I was really annoyed, and Connor sort of like looked at me because he could see that it annoyed me, and he was like, he just said to the security, "Can you not like push her? That's not very nice." And that for me was like, Connor's defending me. Like, that was mental. And like, as I moved along to Brad, he looked at me and said, "Sorry." And I was like, "You don't need to apologise. Like, he's just such a lovely person." And then I moved on to Brad. Oh, and I forgot to show the photo of Connor. That's Connor, my little baby. Like, he's so cute. And then I moved on to Brad, and it was so funny when I got to Brad because we carried on the conversation that me and Connor was having, and I kept on seeing Connor like look at me and then look at Brad, and I was like, "Hi." And I had a leather jacket on, so did Brad. So I was like, "Hi, Brad," and he was like, "Hi," and he was just like, "We are matching today," and I was like, "Yes," and then he just went and high-fived me, and I was like, "What the hell?" But my photos for James and Connor are so clear, but you can tell how nervous I was with Brad because it's all blurry. So yeah, but like when I finished with Brad and I was like, "Oh, bye, see you in Manchester," he was like, "Oh, bye, see you soon." And then I walked off, and I remember I met up with my mum and I was like, "That was one of the worst signings I've ever been to." And I told her about what had happened with the security, and she was like, "They shouldn't have done that to a fan." And she was like, "Well, at least the boys were lovely and smiley." And even though Tristan wasn't there, like, the boys were extra smiley and extra chatty. And I think that was nice. And yeah, the third time that signing was on Monday the 7th of November in 2016. The next time I met the Vamps was at VIP on the last tour, so middle of the night tour in Sheffield. And because it was at Sheffield again, I was like, "Oh God, what if it's the same security as it was for the all-night signing?" I was like, "Oh God, it better not be." But it wasn't, and it was actually one of the best experiences I've ever had meeting them. And I wasn't like nervous, but I wasn't like how I was when I first met him. But I remember I just got to like queuing up for VIP. Originally I'd planned to like queue at around 3 o'clock because check-in was 4 o'clock to 4:30. So I was like, "That's fine, we'll queue at like 3 o'clock. We'd gone to get food, come back, gone to the hotel, started listening to like Vamp songs like middle of the night so I could learn it. It didn't go down very well because I didn't manage to learn it, but we got to the arena, back to where we had to queue. And we queued up and I checked my phone because I remember I turned it off for battery and I turned it back on again and it was 2:45 and I was like, "Oh great, we're too early for this." But I was like, "I don't care, if we're talking and playing Vamp songs it'll just be like not as long." So we just started chatting to girls in front of us, chatting to anyone, because when you're VIP you just find you chat to as many people as you can. So we were chatting to people, singing, fangirling over the fact we were about to meet the Vamps. So I was like, "Oh my God, it's crazy that I'm just about to meet the Vamps in VIP, what the hell?" And we got to letting us in. We gave them the information, they gave us the lanyards, which is this one, Vamps VIP. And then we started hearing these noises, and I was like, oh my god, it's the Vamps, they're sound checking and we are hearing it. And yeah, that was crazy. And I got chatting to Emily, and that's the day I actually met her, which was nice. And obviously I was with Kirsten as well, so yeah. Anyway, we got led into this corridor at about 10 to 5, like quarter to 5, 10 to 5, and we were just stood there. And I remember that Joe walks down the corridor, and was it Waddy? I think Waddy and Joe walked down the corridor, and I was like, hi Joe, hi Waddy. And then it was pretty strange, and Joe was like waving at us all. And I'd bought James a birthday card because we met them on the 28th of April, his birthday is the 30th of April. So I'd bought him a birthday card, I'd written it, and I'd put it in the box, because they put down this box for all of... Hi Kirsten, nice to see you watching my Vamps video. And yeah, but we put all these stuff in the box for the Vamps to give to them in the dressing room or whatever. And we were all just waiting in this corridor, and it was sweaty, hot. I needed a toilet, but I didn't want to go because I didn't want to lose my spot in the queue because I had a good spot. Anyway, we got led into this like tiny room. I think it was like the showers or like a dressing room or something. And we got led into this room. It was tiny, it was hot, it was sweaty, and it was disgusting. And we could just see the Vamps backdrop, and I was like, this is getting seriously real now. Like, I was starting to panic. I was like, oh my god, what is this? But we got led into the room, and I was like the 7th or 8th person out of the whole VIP people to meet the Vamps, and I was like, that is mental. That is something I would never expect. Like, I thought I would be at the back, so to be at the front and just see them walk in, like, I've never ever seen them walk in, so for that to happen, it was crazy. And I remember, I was like, loads of people had told me that you get into the room and they usually wait like half an hour up to an hour, and then the boys just walk in. And I remember, like, every time someone walked in the door, we were all like, is it them? Is it? And everyone was just so silently like, oh my god. And I remember we were all chatting in the VIP queue saying, oh my god, what if Brad's wearing his green jacket and whatever. And we're all like, yeah, that won't happen. And then Tristan walks in, and oh my god, I have never screamed so loud in my life. I screamed, I covered my mouth, I was like, oh my god, they are here, what is going on? So I was like, oh my god. So Tristan walks in, followed by Connor, and I just remember turning round to my friend Kirsten, who is now watching, saying, oh my god, Connor looks amazing. And obviously, her being a Connor girl as well, she agreed. So I was like, yes, we agree. And then Brad walks in. This is where we all freak out because he was wearing the green jacket. What are the odds? We said we want that jacket. He walked in it. We were all like, oh my god, it's happened. And then James walks in, and I'm just dead. And then I realise in about a few minutes I will be stood next to them, hugging them and meeting them. What is going on? So I was a wreck all of that day, knowing that I was going to meet the Vamps, and then they just walk into the room. So they walked in, and I'm basically sat on the bench because it was just too much for me to take in. And I remember I was chatting to the security guard because the person in front of me had just met them and she was having a photo. And I was stood chatting the way to the security going, is it alright if me and my friend have 2 photos because we want to meet them together? And they was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, we'll tell the photographer and the boys. And then I said to the guy, and Tristan was just there, so he probably heard me. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can walk up to them and meet them. And he was like, just remember, they're normal people. And that for me, I sort of was like, yeah, you're right, they are just normal people. And then it was my turn. And yeah, I walked up to Tristan and I hugged him. And it was so nice. Like, it was one of them one-arm hugs, like a side hug, but it was so nice. And he's so tall. He's a giant, but he's so lovely and sweet, and I just love Tristan. So he comes, he gives me a hug, asks me how I am, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm good, thank you. And then I see that Connor's next. So I'm getting excited because I'm about to hug him. I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. And I remember walking up to him looking me dead in the eyes and just like pulling me in for a hug. And I was shaking so much. And he started like rubbing my back. And that for me just sort of like calmed me down. So I was like, thank you. But he was like, are you alright? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But he was so lovely, and he always is lovely. And then I walked up to Brad, and he is so small. Like, I'm so tall, but oh my god, me and Connor Ball are the same height. Because I always said to people, oh my god, what if I'm like in the middle of Connor and Brad? Because I've always thought I was taller than Connor. Like, if I was in the middle of them, I'd be like there, them two would be there, and it'd just look weird because I'd look like a giant. And like, thank God Connor was the same height as me because it didn't look that weird. But I walked up to Brad, he gave me his cheeky little smile, so that made me smile automatically. And I hugged him, and it was cute because I've never hugged Brad before. And we were just like chatting, which was nice. And then like whenever I chat to James and like go up to him in like a signing or whatever, I'm always calm just because he's so like easy to chat to. And I walked up to him and I gave him a hug and chatted away. And then it was time for the photo. So I wanted to do a pose. So I did a pose. And the first pose I decided to do was the James Bond like gun one, like all of us together. And we did it, and it was incredible. Like, the photo turned out so well. Like, oh my god. But I remember I was chatting to them, and I just stood in front of them and was like, can we do a James Bond style pose? And they were like, yeah, yeah. And we did it. And then I remembered, oh, we're having another photo. No pose for this one. I was like, oh great, what are we meant to do? I can't come up with one just out of the blue. So I was like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I looked at Connor thinking he might help me out. He didn't. So thanks, Connor. But yeah, it was a bit mad. And I think in a panic, I sort of went to put my arm around him, and I nearly hit him, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, sorry. And he was like, don't worry about it, it didn't even hurt me. I was like, oh good. But that is the flipping cutest photo I've ever had with the Vamps. I was so happy. And I remember checking my emails after the concert and seeing that photo. And if you zoom in, you can see that Connor is pointing at my lol you're not Connor Ball top. what? So that was just insane, like, oh my god. But I full on put my arm around him and he put his arm around me, which was lovely. And like, when I saw the photo of him pointing at my top, I was like, oh my god, he's pointing at it. But yeah, that was so nice. And yeah, but it was lovely of him to do that. And I just remember like walking off saying, oh bye, can't wait for the show. And I'm like, oh, hope you enjoy it, see you. And then I just walked off, and I remember grabbed my bag and then just freaked out, because that was one of the best, no, it was the best meet and greet I've ever had, meeting them. It was incredible. Now this next experience meeting them is a bit strange, because technically it wasn't meant to happen, like it wasn't planned. So on Monday the 3rd of July, I was going to Leeds to see the boys at Showcase. So I was getting the train on my own, which was a bit scary because I've never got the train on my own to Leeds before. And I got to the train station and sat down because I was planning on meeting my friend. Anyway, I got to the waiting area, waiting for my friend, and she was texting me saying that her other friend's bus is late, so they're going to be late meeting me. So I was like, don't worry about it, that's fine, I'll just sit here, go get some food and a drink, and then just sit down. And then I see that Kirsten, who was going to the same show, was coming, and I was going to meet her. She said on a tweet that she had just spoke to Connor and Brad. They were on her train. So I was like, what the hell? What are the chances? And it's funny because I basically said to my mum the night before, no, I did an 11:11 saying, meet the Vamps tomorrow. And I was just like, oh my god. Like, what are the chances of that? And anyway, I just rang her and was like, what is going on? So they are going to come to Leeds train station and I might get the chance to meet them. She was like, yeah, they'll be here roughly at like 3 o'clock. So I was like, right, I'm going to meet my friends, go to Nando's, get lunch, go back to this train station and flipping meet the Vamps. Yes. So I was like, right, let's do it. I don't care, let's meet the Vamps, why not? So obviously I rang my sister and said, you'll never guess what's happened, I'm just about to meet the Vamps. What? So yeah, I come back and we checked the train times, they were coming in at like 3:05. So I was like, that's really, really soon. And I remember Kirsten messaging me saying, oh yeah, we're just pulling into Leeds now. And I saw the train come into the platform, because we could see the platform from where we were all stood. And there was about 6 to 8 of us. And I was like, oh, there's not many people, that means they might stop. So I was just stood there like taking it all in, like I'm just about to meet the Vamps again, what the hell. And I was just freaking out, like, oh my god, this is not meant to happen, why is it gonna happen? And I just remember like feeling what? And the train pulled in and we could see all the passengers getting off, but I couldn't actually see them getting off. So I was like, oh my god, what if they don't even turn up? Like, what if they've gone a different exit or whatever? But I was thinking, wait, if Brad and Connor are on a train, what if James and Tris turn up? So I could see, I just went over to this barrier to see if I could see them all getting off the train. And just, this is weird, just as I looked, I just saw Brad and Connor walking, just walking down. And I was like, what? What? And I was just like, this is seriously weird. So I was just stood there like, oh my god, what is going on? This is crazy. So I was freaking out, getting my phone ready for a selfie or whatever. And before that, I'd never been in a selfie with the Vamps before. So I was full on like shaking and freaking out. So I seen him walking up and I started shouting Brad's name. He heard me and came over to the barrier and was like, oh yeah, we're just going to go and get a little snack because it's been a long train journey, but after that we'll come and get a photo with you all. And I was like, that's fine. And before he came up, I just shouted him, and I could see Connor with him, and I was like, why did I not just shout Connor as well? Because I felt awful to poor Connor. But it was strange because, like, before then I would never have been able to speak like Brad the way I did, and I managed to speak to him, which was crazy. So they all go and get food from the little like snack station thing, and they just sit down. So I'm like, oh great, so we're all stood here and Brad and Connor is sat having chocolate and a banana. Yeah, so I was like stood there just waiting. And then it was weird as anything. I just see James and Tristan walk up and join them, and I was like, what is going on? And then they all start talking, and I could see Tristan point all of us out, and I was like, that's a bit rude to point, but oh well, I don't care, I'm being pointed out by Tristan Evans. And they all just start walking over, and I'm like, oh my god, they're walking over to come and meet us, what is going on? So they all walk over and start chatting, and we're like, hi guys, and are you all excited for the show? And I was like, of course, I can't wait to hear the whole album. And they were like, oh, that's nice. And they took this photo, and it's the best photo, and the caption was lovely Leeds ladies, and I found that hilarious because Kirsten is from Worcester and not even from Leeds, but they thought she was from Leeds because they put it, but it was funny. And they said they'd put it up somewhere so we could all see it, and I just remember checking Instagram and seeing that they'd posted, and I was like, check it, like it, post it, send it to everybody I know, put it on Snapchat story, everything. And yeah, it was just crazy. And I was just in so much shock. And it was funny though, because when they were all walking off, because they take a different exit from the train station to get a car to take them to the venue, and they drove, no they didn't, they were going to leave, so I just started like waving at them, saying bye, and Connor, James and Brad basically just walked off, didn't even acknowledge me. Tristan, however, went, oh bye, see you later, and he was lovely, he was like bye, and then I was like, love you, and he was like, love you too, and then just walked off. And I mean, that was incredible, like having that interaction from Tristan. But yeah, anyway guys, that was the last of my How I Met the Vamps experience. But I am so excited to meet them again in Sheffield, and yeah, I'm also going to be doing another story time like I did of the whole Vamps VIP experience thing, but I'm going to be doing it again for my experience this year, which hopefully will be as amazing as last year. But thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon with more incredible videos from me. I love you all so much. Thank you again guys. This is Redhead Boo signing off. Bye!